Remember season 1?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Forget everything you know about it. Why? Because everything you know is a lie. And now I'm here to speak the truth. What? Play the intro. Season 2 starts with Bond and King leaving the Sins for a reason we'll learn down the line. But until we learn it, we get back to Meliodas and the group who sense the awakening of a new evil, specifically the 10 Commandments. As cool as the name implies, they didn't awaken and then cause mass genocide. Instead, they awakened and now they're waiting for the powers to return so then they can go on mass genocide. But until it returns, we catch up to Bond and King, and now a stalker, Jericho, and all of them go to the Fairy King's force for Bond to give some of his immortal blood for the Fairy King forest to thrive. Until out of nowhere, a lower demon looking like Snoop Dogg with them long legs and devastating power comes along and destroys the forest, making King go against Snoop Demon, for which King unlocks a brand new power. His power is to release his sacred treasure, and with that, Snoop Demon didn't even stand a chance, and Harley Quinn, aka King, now you see why I prefer to call him King because Harley Quinn is a mouthful, takes the dub against Snoop Demon. Not bad, King. Now, let's see how everyone else is doing. Oh, they got their hands full with Galland, one of the 10 Commandments showing up for a fight. And I can't call this a fight because they all got wrecked. And after all that, Galland dipped. But wait, Gother, I can't believe it. He manipulated Galland's memory, so he thought he killed everyone. MVP goes to Gother. But they really did get their ass clapped, so they need to get stronger, except for Meliodas. All he needs is to get his original power. What? How strong is this demon man child? Once receiving his old power, he goes and warns the 10 Commandments that they didn't stand a chance. Essentially, Meliodas is saying that the battle is already over before it even began, which is badass, but is also stupid in a cool way enough to make it alright, I guess. We get back to Bond and we see that Elaine was revived through some BS power from one of the 10 Commandments. And when you look at her and Bond, my first thought is she is a literal child. Even Jericho brings that point up, that Elaine is an infant. And Jericho looks older in some places. But back to the story. A little after Jericho laid the truth on this child, 2 Commandments, aka Mulascula and Galland, come out of nowhere to kill Bond, and Bond puts up a good fight, but is forced to flee, where they run into a bar that is run by one of the 7 deadly sins, and he lets them hide in his pantry while he deals with the 2 Commandments by giving them alcohol and playing a game. The rules are whoever runs away between Escanor and Galland turns to stone, and Galland struck first, knocking out Escanor until the sunrise. And when the sun rised, we learned who he is. He is Escanor, the Sin of Pride, and he is the coolest character, period. Escanor looks at Galland, cuts him in half, and says he is the pinnacle. He is the one that is above all others. And Galland opposes that and goes full power and strikes him, and Escanor is pissed because he was expecting more. And before Escanor could finish him, Galland ran away. And according to the rules, you run away, you turn to stone. And as for Mulascula, she tries to eat Escanor's soul, but fails, and then gets thrown off the ravine on fire. Still alive though. And after this is a tournament run by 2 Commandments, and all the sins show up, play along, waiting for the moment to strike. And instead of waiting, they made the moment. And I mean my main man, Escanor. Delivering the first attack on the 2 Commandments, Meliodas coming up with a second serving of ass whooping. But a major twist occurred when all the Commandments came and cornered him, and with nowhere to escape, did he A, nuke them, B, subscribe to my channel, or C, they killed him? Well, if you guessed C, you would be right, because they brutally murdered Meliodas. And before I continue, I wasn't really going to mention this because it didn't really contribute to the story too much, I say. The fight between Estarossa, aka the person who killed Meliodas, and the Lion Cid of Pride, Escanor, was heat. And although Estarossa does not die from this, I really thought it's worth mentioning that I did love this fight. We learn Meliodas isn't dead. He is cursed to never die. And every time he returns back from life, his emotions are taken up by his father, aka the Demon King. What? So that's pretty interesting news. And honestly, that's the last piece of news, because that's the last important thing that really happens in Season 2. Now, to rank Season 2 of 7 Deadly Sins, I give it a C without Escanor. but when you take in the parts of Escanor, my final score turned out to be a B. And also, I did not mention this for season 1, but for season 1, honestly, I give it a C+. It was decent, the animation was nice, but honestly, the story was so boring. Like, I didn't care about season 1 villains, but season 2, they made up for it by actually making cool villains with the 10 Commandments. The animation was also fantastic, and also Escanor is just, Escanor. I mean, I simp for him any day of the week. Until next time, you guys stay safe and peace. Cause your boy was girl deprived, aka didn't have a girlfriend while friends around me were getting